to reverse this process, we withdraw our attention from what has been created outside into the true self inside these covers. We become unaware of one cover at a time, and then we are able to find out who we are. By practice of meditation, by practice of withdrawal of attention to our own self, we are able to achieve that goal, that when we put our attention within ourselves, we become unaware of our body. With practice, we can be completely unaware of our body. With less practice, we can be partially unaware of our body. When we become unaware of this physical body, we become aware of something else inside, which is another body. And that body seems to function even when this body is not there, as if that body has been planted inside this body, and this body only works because we have inner body of sense perceptions. The sense perceptions of this physical body are arising from the inner body of sense perceptions. But we can go further, deeper than that, and even become unaware of the sense perceptions, and then become only aware of our mind and our consciousness, which makes the mind alive, which makes the senses alive, which makes the physical body alive. And we can do this, all this process, by withdrawal of attention to our own self. So I mentioned to you yesterday how people have tried to go within themselves to find what the truth is. By many means, some have tried the method of pranayama, that means controlling the prana. And they have literally translated prana as the breath of life. Prana actually means life force. Breathing is one part of it. But when you use the breathing as a means of discovering who you are inside, it does give you some benefits. It does enable you to withdraw your attention to the different energy centers that are below our eyes, because breathing is done by our nose and mouth and the lungs. And these are below our eyes. Therefore, the experiences that come, may be extraordinary experiences, they are below our eyes. And therefore, they are an extension of the physical body. Some people have dropped the breathing part and said, no, we can go directly putting our attention on the energy centers below. There are 6 energy centers that control all our energies, and they are located at different points, 6 points in the body, as I explained yesterday. And people have tried to go through the 6 chakras of energy, 6 centers of energy, and tried to find what is there. The heart happens to be in the middle of those 6 chakras. So they have sometimes concentrated more on the heart and got some wonderful experiences, including an experience of an out-of-body situation where they feel they're out of the body, but they're connected to the body. Many people who have practiced that are still linked to this physical body, and sometimes they see there's a silver cord connecting them who's outside with the body here. But then there are others who say it's not necessary to go below the eyes. When in the wakeful state, we are operating from behind the eyes. When we are awake, we are not anywhere else except behind the eyes. The brain is the last part of our body that dies during actual death. And when we simulate death by dying while living, which is the method of meditation, we are also doing the same thing to withdraw our attention and consciousness from the extremities of our body right up to the head. And when the brain is dead or the concentration is complete at the third eye center behind these eyes, we feel there is no body. And therefore, they have been able to find something very unique. And that was that whereas all the centers of energy below only deal with energy of various kinds, the centers above the eyes, centers behind and above the eyes, deal with awareness, deal with knowing who you are. You can have wonderful experiences by going below the eyes, but you cannot have a higher awareness of what you are. But if you want to know who you are, the best way is not to go below the eyes, but go behind the eyes and start your journey towards your self-discovery from a third eye center, which is behind these eyes in the center. So this method of focusing yourself, putting yourself behind the eyes, and starting your spiritual journey is the best one I found in my life. I tried the other methods also. I tried for 8 years all these other methods of meditation. Ultimately, I found this method where you can hold yourself behind the eyes and start journey there is the best, and not to go down into energy centers. The second part I mentioned yesterday was that there is a way of putting effort to push yourself in, and then there is a way to be pulled inside. This push and pull are two different methods. When we try with our best effort to stay behind the eyes, it's the push method. We're trying to put our energy in pushing ourselves there. But when we try to listen to something inside which can pull us, that's the pull method. Now, where can we use the push method? By repeating mantras, by trying to hold your attention there, by using all means by which you can not distract yourself from outside. So repetition of mantra is very often a good method to start the push method. And what is the pull method? The pull method arises because within us there is a music and a sound that is going on all the time. It's a resonance that is inside each one of us. We do not hear it because our attention is completely outside. If we put our attention within, we can hear it. Sometimes it's a good way to start with the push method up to the point where you can catch that music inside and then leave the push method and see if there is music that is so wonderful, melodious and pulling, it can pull you inside. The inner music, especially some notes of it, are so powerful that if you catch them with your attention, they can really pull you very fast out of unawareness of your body. And you can become unaware of your body much faster. So this particular method of being pulled by putting your attention on a sound has been called, amongst other yogas, as the Surta Shabda Yoga, which means the Surta is the attention, Shabda is the sound, Yoga means union with your true self. So the Surta Shabda Yoga I found was the most effective in my own case. And I have found it useful, and I hope you will find it useful. If you find some other method better, you can use those. I would be very grateful if somebody can find a better method than this and they share it with me. Because if you share it with me, that there is a better method, I will follow it too, even now. I am not rigid about what my finding is. I found, I'm sharing with you. You find something better, I'll share with you. I'll work on it also. So this is not a religion or a cult or a closed society. This is an open method of investigating who you are. Now, in order to do that, the first step, and a very essential step, which many people miss out, even when they know how to meditate, they miss out this first step, is not to start meditation unless you first seat yourself by imagination behind the eyes. If you don't do that, your attention is continuously outside. It gets worse when you design a special place for meditation. My friends have invited me to their home and told me we have a special meditation room. And I said, wonderful. In one case I went, the room was painted blue, the color of love. And I sat in that room and I said, I tried to meditate all the time I was looking at the blue walls of that room. I said, if you have a special place to meditate, a special room, your attention is on the room. How will you pull it from there? Then some people say, we have a special chair on which we do meditation. The attention remains on the chair. Our mind is like that. Some people buy special cushions and rugs to meditate. They say, we have a very special thing. Look, we have bought this special one from Tibet or somewhere. It's used by the monks and we are going to use it. So I said, if you sit on that, Your attention is on that rug or the mat or the pillow, and when will you go inside? Therefore, all these external means hold our attention to external things. Therefore, if you want your meditation to be effective, if you just want to make it routine, you can do anything. But if you want to have effective meditation, the starting point should be that the only proper place for meditation is inside your head, behind the eyes. You must place yourself there, then start meditation. Therefore, this practice of being able to see that you are not the body, but you are sitting inside a body, in the head, is a very good starting point. It took me some years after I was initiated by my master, whose picture you see here, Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh. After he initiated me, for years I was just trying to see, I'm sitting in my body and closing my eyes and repeating words. Nothing was happening. I said, there's something missing somewhere. What was missing was I was constantly conscious of my body. I was constantly conscious where I was sitting. It was all outside. How could I pull my attention inside? Few years I was just wasting my time, thinking this is not a very effective way actually. Maybe they just say it's very good, but really it doesn't work. I had to go back to my master and check with him that I'm trying this. He said, do you first sit inside? I said, no. If I knew that, why would I do meditation? If I can sit inside, that's a done thing. He said, no, that's the starting point of meditation. So I said, I don't know how to sit inside. Can you explain it to me? He said, yes. Can you imagine with your imagination that you are standing somewhere? I said, yes, I can imagine I'm standing somewhere else. Then he raised his finger like this. He said, can you imagine you're sitting on top of this finger? So I also raised my finger like this. I said, yes, I can imagine I'm on top of that. Really think you are sitting there? Yeah, I can see. Bring it down. Are you still sitting there? Yes. Bring it. Are you still sitting there? I said, yes. Jump inside. So I jumped inside. I jumped inside and discovered that I was not this body. If I could jump inside, I am that which I was holding up in the finger. And they brought it down and I jumped inside. And I found a beautiful place. I found there's so much space there. I thought the head is a very small place. But when I jumped inside, it was so expansive. It could expand as much as I liked. It could contract as much as I liked. I could make it a small room, a little hut. I could make it into a large garden if I liked. So I found that's a beautiful place to work in. And when you start your meditation from there, you can imagine how quickly you're able to gather your attention over there. Now, this is something that we miss very often, and we just think that closing our eyes, repeating words is going to take us anywhere. Nobody has gone anywhere just by repeating physical words. There has to be something more than that. Therefore, to be able to sit there, we have to use certain kind of suggestions for ourselves. And the suggestions I feel are most suitable for starting meditation are that think this body of yours is your house you're living in. You're living in this house and living in different floors of the house. Wherever your attention goes, you are there. It starts on the bottom, it goes gradually up into the 6 centers and ends up behind the eyes at the 6th level. Consider this is a house built like a body, a mobile home that can move, but it's a house. You live in this, and most of the time you're spending your time on the 6th floor of this house. It's a nice floor, hard floor, not soft floor. It's made of concrete, strong. You can thump on it, you can jump on it, nothing happens. That kind of a floor behind the eyes. And that you are sitting in the center of this on a comfortable chair of your own imagination. Then you imagine these things, you don't pay for the chair. You can pick up a very nice one too, an expensive one. You can pick up what you like. Use your imagination to the extent, because after all, what you're trying to do is to draw your attention to that point. And imagination is one of the good gifts we have in order to put our attention wherever we like. We imagine somewhere, our attention goes there. Right now, sitting here, we can imagine something happening outside, our attention will go there. So when we imagine we are inside, our attention goes inside. It's a very good starting point. So when we say this is our house, and we are sitting inside on the 6th floor, and in the center, then we can meditate. Then we repeat the words, not with this tongue, but with the tongue of the guy sitting inside, the person sitting inside. Then we hear things with the person sitting inside, and things move fast. Otherwise, we remain stuck outside. So this is such an important part that I always want to emphasize, because people have been doing meditation 30, 40, 50 years. And they say, we didn't get anything out of it. Because the starting point was not the correct one. They were just thinking of things outside. So that is why if you want to have effective meditation, it's necessary to put yourself behind the eyes as a starting point. I promise that we will do some meditation today. So we will do it now, if you are ready. How many of you would like to do actual meditation? Very good. Oh, almost all of you, very good. I'm very happy. Now you will join me in meditation today. And before we start meditation, I want to do a couple of exercises. And those exercises are designed to help us understand how to meditate. And that is why I introduced these exercises to take place before we start meditation. The first exercise is called the orange juice experiment. Somebody had asked a question about it yesterday, and I said I'll talk to you today about it. The orange juice experiment. In this experiment, we will imagine that our body is hollow, made of glass, brittle glass. So once you say the body is made of glass, you can't move around because it will crack. So you have to be very still in this experiment. It is hollow inside. With your imagination, you will fill it up with orange juice. Starting from the feet, you will close your eyes and imagine there's orange juice you're filling up in the feet, in the legs, all the way in your body, right up to your face, right up to the head, in your arms, right up to your hands. And then you will look at the whole body. It's all full of orange juice, and there is no empty space at all. When you are completely full and satisfied that there is no empty space at all, the whole empty body made of glass is full of orange juice, then I will tell you that there are some valves in your fingertips. When you press the valves, the orange juice flows out from the fingertips. And I'll ask you to press the valves from time to time and tell you to press gently or strong. If you press gently, drop by drop, the orange juice will come out. If I say press hard, it will flow. Similarly, there are going to be valves in the toes of your feet. When you press those toes, the orange juice will flow out. You press them gently, drop by drop will go out. If you press them too hard, they'll flow very quickly. So in this experiment, we will use the glass body filled with orange juice, with valves in the tips of your hands, tips of your fingers, and tips of your toes. And I will give you instructions from time to time what to do. So close your eyes. Take a position where you cannot move. Be still. How many of you could successfully do this experiment? How many of you have difficulty doing it? Okay, what is the purpose of our doing this exercise? The purpose was to show you that your attention can move in any part of the body you like. It was easy. You moved your attention on my direction to every part of the body, as I said. The orange juice was a means to show that you were controlling your attention wherever you liked. The idea of doing this exercise is to use the same attention which you used for controlling the flow of orange juice. Same attention has to be placed when you're going to sit behind the eyes. It's no other attention. It's not different. It's the same thing that you just used in the same body. You used it all over the body. Now, when we meditate, we use it behind the eyes. So it's an exercise in using your attention. Now we'll do one more exercise before we meditate. In this exercise, we will imagine that we are sitting inside our head. Just an imagination that we are on the 6th floor of our house and we are sitting on a comfortable chair. Next to us is a little side table, like the one I have here. On this side table is a bunch of flowers, like I have here, and need not be the same flowers. They should be your favorite flowers. And there should be a cup with a drink, like this one, not necessarily the same, but your favorite drink. And a little plate containing your favorite snack. You have to imagine you are sitting in the center of this head, which is your room, in which you're going to have an exercise. And there next to you, on the right side of you, is a table which has got a drink, a snack, and flowers. So once you have imagined that, I'll give you directions what to do next. So close your eyes. Imagine you are sitting behind the eyes in that room, and you are sitting in a comfortable chair in the center, and on the right side is a table with a drink, flowers, and a snack. How many of you could do this, to sit behind the eyes? Wonderful, all qualified to meditate. This was qualification. Now we try the push method. How many of you have a mantra or a simran or words to repeat, which you have already been given by a guru, a master, or somebody? How many of you have it? How many of you don't have any such thing? Now those who don't have it, you make up one for this exercise only. Make up one, and if you love somebody, you just say, I love that person's name. Just take the name. I love you, or I love that person, and slowly repeat that. That will be your temporary mantra for today. So just remember that you have to repeat this slowly. Those who have a mantra or are practicing Simran, they will use the same words but very slowly in order to listen to what you are repeating. Repetition is not as important as listening to what you are repeating. The soul listens, the mind speaks. We want the soul to be involved in this exercise, not the mind. The mind is doing the repetition for you. The soul is listening to what you are doing. You will be pulled in better if you listen to what you are repeating than thinking of something else while you keep on repeating. Your attention should be on listening to what you are repeating. So if you repeat slowly, understanding each word, every syllable of it, clearly what you are saying, it will help you. So close your eyes again, go back to the 6th floor, go into a meditation chamber, sit in the center, and slowly start repeating your mantra or Simran or the newly adopted temporary mantra of today. How many of you could do this successfully? Very good. Some of you have not been able to do this. With practice, each one of you will be able to do it. It's a natural thing. It is not something that is extraordinary. It's all natural in us. Sometimes our distractions are more, so we have a little problem concentrating. But with some practice, all of you can do this. So this is the beginning. While doing this exercise, how many of you could hear some sounds inside? Some of you could hear some sounds. Eventually, you will all hear the sounds inside. And then at that time, you can switch from repetition into listening to the sound. This is the beginning of this meditational process. When you are able to hold yourself there for sufficiently long period, you will gradually become unaware of your feet and your hands, of your legs, of your body. Ultimately, you'll feel you are all there. When that happens, there'll be so much light there, and you'll be able to see your master who initiates you there. And then the journey begins together. Your job ends. Your job ends. Your task is only limited to this. The rest of the journey, Master will take you as far as the Master has gone. If he is operating from level 1 of the astral plane from the heavens, he'll take you there. If he is operating from the causal plane, he'll take you there. If he is a perfect living Master operating from Sachkhand, our true home, where there's totality, no separation, nothing outside of it, then he will take you there. So it all depends. A Master can take you as far as he is gone. So this is just an introduction given to you about meditation, and that's the right way to proceed. That's where you will discover everything. Further and further you go within your own self, you will find more. I hope, how many of you enjoyed these exercises? How many of you felt it was totally boring and not worth it? Nobody wants to say that. They're very polite people, you know. Okay, today we will be having an afternoon session at 3 o'clock, and there will be distribution of prasad. Now, I want to explain to you what is prasad. Prasad can be anything blessed by a Master. Prasad we often make out of some food item, something to eat. So we call it prasad because as we eat, we can remember the Master. Prasad does not change the molecular structure of the stuff that we're eating. Still the same. It's the association with it that changes, because we know who gave it to us. Every time we eat, we remember who gave it to us. So it's the association that is important. Not that some people think prasad is like a medicine. If they're sick, take a little prasad. If they can't solve a problem, take a prasad and then solve it. No, if you can think of your Master, think of your Guru, and then take prasad, that's okay. It's the association. And of course, Guru will help you whether you take prasad or not, if you can think about it. This is just a help, an aid. And therefore, it's blessed food, it's blessed by a Guru. What I will do in the afternoon is to get the blessings of my own Master. Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh, whose picture you see here. You can't see him because physically he has died. I can see him because he initiated me. And therefore, I will ask him within myself to bless the prasad. So what you will get will be great Master's blessed prasad. I respect that prasad a lot. I hope you will take it in that same spirit. So that will be the afternoon session when we end our 2-day affair event here. Right now, we can take up some more questions if you have left any. Knowing we are not alone in this universe, will you speak about aliens and other beings, and if they will be coming to Earth? That's a very interesting question. A lot of people are interested. I don't know, somehow we are all very interested in looking at aliens or waiting for them. When I came to the United States, they gave me a card, and on that it was written, alien registration card. I said, they want to see aliens, one has arrived just now. The green card is actually called the alien registration card. You have plenty of aliens around here. Whether any aliens exist outside our known universe, there are many ways of look at it. One is a mathematical law, which is called the law of probability and the law of averages. These mathematical laws have proved themselves to be right consistently over the last several centuries when they have tested them out. The law of probability says that some things will happen to maintain an equilibrium or an average. For example, if you have a coin, a completely balanced coin with heads and tails, and you toss it, it can be heads or tails. You toss it a second time, it can still be heads or tails. You can toss it 100 times, it could still be heads or tails. But if you actually try, it can be the first 10 times can be all heads or all tails. But when you do 100, it'll never be 50-50. It'll be 60-40. It'll never be 100 and 0. If you toss the same coin 1 million times, it'll be exactly 500,000 heads and 500,000 tails. Coin has no consciousness. The coin is not deciding which side to drop. But a law, mathematical law is operating in this universe, which creates an average. And therefore, that law is helping some people make millions who run casinos. You know, these casinos are run based on this law of probability. Now, they have calculated, based on the probability of this universe, that if this universe is made the way we think it is, based upon the theory of an expanding universe, starting with a big bang and creating all these planets and suns and moons and all that, the law of probability says there should be at least 30,000 more places in this universe having similar situation as on the earth and have life on earth. So at least 30,000 more places should be in this universe under law of probability with people like us living there. So the law of mathematics says that. The other thing is, people say we have done sightings. They have had sightings of alien ships and even aliens landing. When I was a school child in a city called Ludhiana in India, I was studying in school, very young, maybe 7 or 8. I used to walk to school. My school was situated on the other side of a railway track that passed on the top of a bridge. One day, I was going with my books and was passing under the bridge. And normally the train would go on top of it. I saw a whole grey coach of a train hanging right above the tracks. There's a big gap, which looked very odd to me. I said, how can the train rise above so many feet high, higher than the tracks? It looked odd. And then, while I was still watching, the windows of that coach just slid open, and I saw 3 or 4 masked people wearing grey masks, shaking their heads like this. I was very surprised. What kind of thing is this that has gone above this track and there's people shaking their heads? So I was in a hurry to go to school. I didn't want to miss the class, so I ran. I came home and told my parents what I saw. They said, no, you must have mistaken. The train was on the track. And it looks like from the bottom, because you were walking on the road, it looks like it is high. I said, no, there was a clear gap. I could see the sky between that coach and the tracks. No, you made a mistake. They all dismissed me, and I forgot the matter. I said, okay, they may be right. I might have had a hallucination or something. I also forgot. Then I grew up, and then I came to this country, and then I went to meet a friend, Vern Tyler. He used to live in Flagstaff, near the Grand Canyon, and there was some. He would see. He had a neighbor who was a farmer. He introduced me to the farmer because the farmer had a very strange experience. He said to me, and he was a satsangi, he was an initiated person, that Vern Tyler. He's passed away now. And he said the farmer has seen an alien even land on his farm. So I had to check, what does the farmer say? The farmer said that there used to be a little sparkling light on top, then light became bigger like a moon. Then one day it became huge, and it looked like a spaceship like they had seen, and landed on his farm. And now this is farmer telling me a story that when they opened when the thing landed, that huge circular thing landed on the farm, and the windows opened, and they slid the windows, and 3 or 4 people wearing grey masks were moving their head like this. Immediately my memory went back to my school days. I said, how could this happen? I am seeing this after more than 50, 60 years. I am seeing this, hearing from somebody else. But the farmer had much more experience than I had. Because the farmer says, those people even waved to him and brought him inside. He's an American farmer. So the farmer is totally uneducated. He just knows how to about farm. So those people beckoned to him to come, and they lowered a ladder, and he thought it's just an aircraft. It's just a new kind of aircraft that has come. So he went up, and they began to speak like it was a recorded speech. When you put on a radio or something, you can hear the background shah, and then you can hear the hum of the recorded thing. So they knew they are not speaking, but they are playing some record. And they said that we are using your voices to speak to you, which means they must have had other people with them. And we are using your voices to speak to you, and we have come to show you that we live elsewhere and we will be visiting you on earth, and we have come to you. We are afraid of you people because you think we are all enemies. The aliens think like that. And therefore, we have come to that place where you are innocent person. You will tell the story and you can't make up the story. Therefore, people will have to believe you. Something like that was recorded. Then they went on to explain how we fly. And they said they saw 3 boxes, 3 steel-like boxes in that aircraft, placed one after the other. They say these 3 make us go wherever we like. And they operate on the principle of gravity and electromagnetic energy. They said, you won't understand what it is, but we will explain to you. Supposing there is a waterfall, and this is all recorded speech for them. Supposing there is a waterfall, why is the water falling down? Because of gravity of the earth. Water falls down. Supposing you put a plate in the center, where will the water go? The water will go up. Although gravity is pulling it down, but the water will go up because you have intercepted it with a plate. Supposing you make this plate tilted like this, water will fall by the gravity and go this way. You tilt it the other way, it will go this way. This means if you have a plate, you can control the flow of the water, which is being pulled by gravity, in any direction you like. He says this is exactly what we are doing. The gravity of a planet, like Earth right now, is pulling us down, and we have these machines which create electromagnetic plates. They are also created, the electromagnetic plates are also being created by the same gravity. The gravity converts it into magnetic plates, which are then become electromagnetic plates. And that is like a shield. So the gravity that is pulling can get reversed whichever side we move these. And these are the one that we use. And when we leave one planet, we use that of another planet. Throughout this universe, there is plenty of planets to make us move anywhere we like at very high speeds, because there is no resistance to moving between planets. So something like that, this farmer is telling you, doesn't understand anything about what they're talking. So this friend of mine, Vern Tyler, said that this is an amazing experience of an alien. And I said, maybe I also saw aliens when I was a child. But this is the second part of there may be aliens outside, because this is an extraordinary experience somebody had. Lately, I have been hearing that these astronauts have been also seeing something unusual. They made some reports about it. So, do aliens exist? Probably they do. Why not? They should be. With the law of probability and with these experiences many people are having. I was not unique in having this experience. So many people have had this. And there I met some other people also who were educated. They could make up stories also. So therefore, I hear them with a pinch of salt. But the stories conform to these stories. And some said that the aliens even told where they can land, and the gravitational pull that they use is based upon the composition of the minerals on the earth soil. That they pick up that, and they mention 3-4 special points on this earth which are very suitable for their landing. So even mentioned one in India, in Gujarat, near Baroda, and there 2 or 3 in this New Mexico, near New Mexico, some other 3-4 points they mentioned. In Latin America, they mentioned another point. So they said these are the structure of the soil we have examined, contain magnetic particles in such a distribution, they are best for us to land here. So apparently there are aliens who come. But the latest I got was a news from a French guy, a French man who is trying mentally to communicate with aliens. Now, when somebody says I can mentally communicate, the empirical scientists don't believe this mental thing at all. But I do believe, because through meditation we can have so many experiences, so why should I not believe? The French guy who is controlling his communications, he tries to communicate with aliens. Suddenly, 2 years ago, gets a message from an alien leader. And he has a long message. He recorded it and translated it into English, which somebody sent to me. I heard the whole message of an alien leader. And he says, the alien leader says, we are more advanced than you are in many ways. We have advanced in technology and science beyond you. We have done this. They mention various further technologies that we are still to come to, and they have advanced. But one thing we have not advanced is to have a perfect living master. And therefore we want to come to India, to come to Europe, to come to America, to search for something that will help us in going beyond these universes. So that was a very interesting part of the message. But they also say we want to come in large numbers if you want us. If you don't want us, we don't see signs. Your governments don't want us. You people don't want us. If you want us, you don't have to write to us. Think that you want us. If a sufficient majority of you will think you will want us, we'll come not in one ship or 2 ships, but thousands of them. We'll land and be friends of yours. As you help us on the spiritual side, we'll help you in technology. Very interesting message that came. So I am mentioning these to you because you asked about aliens. They'll tell you whatever information I have about aliens, and according to the last message, they are ready to come. And singly or rarely, they have been coming. They have been coming. Now, who are these aliens? Now, I am talking from whatever empirical outside evidence we have. But if you meditate and go within, you can have a better verification of these things. Because you will really find that this universe is much vaster than we think. That what we are experiencing is a very small slice of created universe. We are experiencing a very, very small slice of even the physical created universe. There's so much more universe existing in outside dimensions from ours. Some of them are overlapping ours. There is a universe sitting right where we are sitting now. And we just shift our attention to another dimension and you experience that universe. It's a much bigger creation than we think. Through meditation, of course, you can find out that yes, there is life, living beings like us elsewhere also. You'll also find that there are living beings who are not only like us, they are like human beings in some areas of creation. The laws of nature are very different there. Now, I don't claim to have much experience in these things. I am a follower of this master. But once in a while, he has answered my curiosity by showing what else exists. Now, you can say it was a daydream or a night dream or a nightmare. One day, I said to my master, is there a place where there are similar beings where masters work? Because I was affected by that alien message which said that they have to come to us to get spiritual benefit, that they don't have that advantage. So are there any things in this universe? He said, yes. There are many areas where there are similar universes, and those, if they interact with us, visit us, will be alien visitations. So he said, can I have a little peep once? I was very curious as a child, I must tell you, and still am curious about some things. So I got a short glimpse of a society living very much like us, totally unaware of our existence, as we are totally unaware of their existence. And some features were so strange. The strangest feature I found was that those people, if you can call them people, those people carry their own time control. That means they control the time at which they move. And they do it very normally, just like we do on space. We control space, we can walk faster or slower. Supposing two of us are walking on the road, and I can go a little faster, the man is left behind. Then I wait, he can catch up with me. But we have never done this in this universe with time. And they can do it with time. That they can move to tomorrow while I'm still sitting in today. Somebody can move to another time frame. Or wait for me or not wait and go ahead and run faster on time. They don't make any distinction between time and space. Now when I hear these scientists like Einstein saying time space are the same part of a continuum, I don't fully understand that they are equally travelable by us, that we can travel equally on them. So there are probably, if you go within and travel at high speeds with your inner bodies, which can travel much faster than the physical body, you can have access to some of these areas. Of course, as technology grows, we are also coming closer to understanding these things. Today, scientists are examining themselves, different dimensions of life. I was given a paper, technical paper, the other day, in which the scientists are claiming that there are membranes existing in this universe which separate one dimension from another. And the radioactive energy of this universe, which is measurable by our instruments, does not account for what we can see. Our visible universe is so much smaller than the universe that exists because of measurement of radioactive energy. So there must be something else. So they have designed new words to explain this missing link. They call it dark energy and dark matter. And today they are saying there's more dark energy and dark matter than the known matter that we know of, the physical lighted up matter. So these are new things that are being examined by them. Today they say if you want to account for all the radioactive measurements that are going on, you will need at least an explanation with 11 dimensions of existence, right here in this universe, to explain it all. So obviously there is much more that's existing around us than we can see. And because we can't see them, because they are still beings, they're living beings, we call them aliens. So I hope we'll get more information about these aliens, and whether it is the brain wave of a creative mind, or that they are really physical things existing in this universe, we'll find out. How do you make people happy? We make people happy by becoming happy ourselves. If you are happy, people will be happy around you. I once did an exercise in this also. I had a group of about 20 people and experimented for 1 week. I said to those 20 friends of mine that for 1 week, pretend to be happy. Smile, laugh, wherever you go. Even if you're not happy inside, show you are happy. Make a pretense. And when you will go out and be happy and smiling, see what happens. After 1 week, they all came back, and I said, what did you find? We found all happy people everywhere. They did not find any unhappy person. So when you are happy, you make other people happy. So you become happy, other people will be happy. How are you so smart? I don't know that. That's a very difficult question. I normally answer all questions. This is one where I'm stumped. Other than the practical value of meditating, where it is quiet and not much distraction, is there any special or mystical value to meditating in the early hours of the morning? The practical value is it's quiet, less distraction, less traffic on the roads to disturb us, hardly any telephone calls coming. This time people are sleeping, you are awake. Mystical value can be created by a mystic. When we were young and we used to go and stay in the Dera, Dera was the ashram where Great Master was staying and gave his discourses. We would go there, and in the summer we would sleep outside on little cots, but we would all sleep because the breeze was nice, the summer time, and we could sleep outside. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Great Master would come with his cane like that. And we were sleeping, and he would poke us with the cane. 3 o'clock in the morning, time for meditation. Oh, yes, Master, we would get up suddenly. Yes, Master. Yeah, this was meditation time. And he would then go, we say he has gone, and he go to sleep again. In 5 minutes he'd come back. I am not gone yet. And he'll make us get up. Somebody said to him, Master, why are you waking us up at 3 o'clock? He says, that's the time I carry my best basket of goodies to give to people. Almost everybody is sleeping, and I bring that basket back. If people were awake to receive it, I would really give it. After that, it became mystical to wake up at 3 in the morning and wait for the basket. So mystics can make this early morning into a mystical morning. Otherwise, it's good because you've had your sleep, especially if you slept early enough. You had your sleep, you are fresh. If you're not fresh enough, you can have a shower before meditation and feel more fresh. And then the day is ahead of you. Meditation prepares you for the day. It puts you in the right mood for the rest of the day. So it's a good time to meditate early morning. But when you have different kinds of jobs requiring different timings, you can change this to any time you like. All times are good for meditation. But when you rise in the morning, and the first priority is meditation, it sets the whole day into meditative mood. So it's good to do it at that time. When you go to sleep at night, you should meditate for a while. So it sets the mood for your night, and you even dream of your meditation. Even Simran repetition goes on all night. If you wake up in the middle, you see your mind is doing the repetition. These are useful tips. That is why I sometimes say, if you feel you have no time for meditation, at least find 5 minutes when you rise in the morning, and 5 minutes before you go to sleep at night. And those 5 minutes can set up momentum for meditation every day. But do it every day. Some people think we can do meditation on weekends, that we do several hours on weekends. It's not the same as 5 minutes daily. Because you build up a momentum, like anything else, you build a momentum and keep on moving further in regular meditation. Then you do it once in a while, then it sometimes works, sometimes you go back into your distraction, and as if start from square one every time. So that is why it's a good idea to meditate early morning when you rise. If your duty is required that you sleep later, then start later. So the mystical time was made by the mystic, and my suggestion of a mystical time is 5 minutes on rising, 5 minutes before going to sleep. That's a mystical time for me. If you can do that, it will work for you. Thank you. Is there value in taking longer personal meditation retreats. I think of the story of the judge who was great master's doorman and wanted to meditate in his house, but later found he could not do any meditation. I am wondering in this regard about grace versus effort, and if there is the danger of mechanical effort creeping in when one tries to take a silent retreat and meditate for longer hours. Yeah, the story of the judge, most of you must have heard. That was the Wang Daryai Lal. He wrote some nice books also. And he was a judge in Kapurthala state in India. He was also finance minister there. He had high positions. When he retired, he went to great master, his master whose picture is here, and he said, Master, I want to do some service, some seva. Master said, you are a highly educated person, you can take up any function, you can be secretary of this organization, you can be head of this organization, you can take up the financial roles of this organization we are at, or you can take anything else. He said, no, Master, my request is to be your doorman. Master said, okay, then you be a doorman. So the rest of his life, he was doorman standing outside the door of great master. And he loved that job because he saw so many beautiful people, real keen people with tears in their eyes coming to see master with such intense love and devotion, which affected him and said, look at these people, how much love and devotion they have. And that was inspiring for him. So he thought he was learning a lot and getting inspired. And his love for the master grew as he saw other people with that kind of love. He was very happy with that job. But one day, he went to the master and said, Master, I have been your doorman and I enjoy that job. And I love you so much and I want to be with you and serve you in any capacity. But I realized I have missed out on my meditation. I never meditated all this time. Now I want to catch up with my lost meditation. And I want to take advantage of the fact that you have a house in the mountains, in Dalhousie, and you are not going this summer. Will you be able to give me your keys of your house? So I'll go and meditate in your house. It'll have all the atmosphere of masters living there. It'll all have the vibes of meditation, and I'll really be able to make up my lost meditation by meditating continuously for at least 3 months. Master said, here are the keys, go. So he took the keys and went to Dalhousie, to that hill station, and when he opened the door, with all anticipation, this will be great meditation. A plumber comes along and says, I was waiting for somebody to come, so I have to fix up the plumbing there. He began to work on it, hitting on tubes and pipes and so on. Another person came, we were waiting for somebody to come so we can clean up this place. Every day there was more disturbance and distraction than he ever had before. He tried his best to meditate, he couldn't do any meditation at all. 3 months later, he comes back to the Dera and he goes, hands over the keys to great master and says, Master, I failed. I went to catch up with my meditation and went into your house to meditate. I could not do any meditation. Sorry, I failed. Master smiled and said, no, you passed. You didn't fail, you passed. You discovered that it is not in your hands to achieve anything by trying to do some meditation. It's the grace of a master that gives everything. And when we say we can do it, it's an enforcement of our ego. An ego that can come in the way of our own success. And that is why to put an I in front that I am going to do so much meditation, I can do all that, is only strengthening your own ego. And therefore, in this path, that humility and surrender and acceptance are far more important than what you call your effort, and your I-less in the effort that is involved. Therefore, you should do your meditation as if it is a service. So then Great Master explained that there is 3 kinds of service. Seva. One seva is with money. You want to help an organization, help the master's work, you write a check, send them cash, and give some money. The easiest seva. The second seva is with the body. You work on a project. You carry bags, you work in the kitchen, you cook, you do these various things physically, and that's also seva of a higher order. It's physical seva. From monetary seva, you can have physical seva. But the best seva is seva with the mind. And that is meditate not to get something, but as an offering to the master. That you say, today's meditation is not for me, I'm offering it to the master. That takes away the ego part of it. Eventually, all your meditation becomes an offering and the ego doesn't come in, and it works. And master's grace flows because your thought is all in offering something to master. It's master's thought that's coming in, not I am doing this meditation to get something. So a little switch can be done by making meditation not an effort, but an offering or a seva. So this was a good tip he gave. Many of us followed that tip, that our meditation should be an offering. Then it's up to him to give us what he wants to give in return. We don't have any expectations. We accept what he gives. Then he gives everything. This path of true spirituality is a path of love and devotion. This meditation is for our mind. Our mind believes, because it has been trained to believe, that nothing can come without your effort. That you will never get anything unless you struggle and make effort for it. To appease the mind, to satisfy this part of the mind, meditation is prescribed. Meditation fails. We all know meditation fails again and again, teaching us a lesson. It's not our effort that's giving anything. Ultimately, the effort means nothing. And it's Master's grace, which brings love and devotion in our heart, that ultimately gives you everything. Meditation, even the most successful meditation, can only take you to the top of the mental planes. It does not take you to spiritual planes. Because effort of any kind, work of any kind, repetition of words of any kind, they cannot take you beyond the mental spheres. And therefore, all these are mental games that we play. True spirituality starts from above the mind, where we discover we are a soul, which has our own functions are love, intuition, and bliss, and appreciation of beauty. Those are our natural functions, which we retain till the end. And those come by love and devotion for a master. So the ultimate path is only one of love and devotion. We do all these things, meditation, seva, all kinds of things, offerings, just to develop that love and devotion. Ultimately, love and devotion alone counts on this path. Thank you. Thank you very much for this session. At this time, we have a break for lunch, and I'll come back for the final session at 3 o'clock, and then we'll also distribute prasad from 4 to 5. I'll catch up with the other interviews that were left over from yesterday. Thank you.